Sometimes you find yourself amidst chaos, with the weight of pain in your heart, and all you can do is cry. Suffering appears in ways you never imagined. A loss, a disappointment, a mistake you made that now feels like an impossible burden to carry. In those moments, crying seems like the only way to release the storm inside you. It's as if the whole world shrinks around you and you're alone, lost in a sea of emotions you can't control. But look closely, you are not alone. Suffering, no matter how difficult, has something to teach us. It is a raw, straightforward experience that drags us deep inside ourselves. When pain comes, it's like a mirror is held up before you, revealing parts of yourself that you may have never noticed or perhaps would rather never have known. Suffering is not just punishment, it's an opportunity for self-awareness. It comes to shake your certainties, to remove the masks you wear every day, and as painful as it is, it serves a purpose. I know you wish suffering were something you could avoid, something that could just vanish with the snap of your fingers. However, suffering doesn't work that way. It's not something you can run away from, it is an inevitable part of life. But there is one truth many forget: suffering is not the end. It's not a cycle that repeats without reason. It's not eternal sadness, nor is it a pain that never passes. In fact, it is preparation, a fertile ground where, even though the earth is broken and scarred, something new can grow. Did you know that it's in suffering that true transformation happens? When you allow yourself to feel the pain without hiding or seeking distractions, you begin to undergo a deep healing process. It may seem strange, but this pain gradually becomes a foundation for something new, something stronger. The tears that fall, the sighs that escape, are like seeds that, over time, will sprout and give rise to a new being within you. Because healing doesn't happen on the surface. It starts deep within your being, where you confront your fragility, your fears, your vulnerability. Healing doesn't come with a snap of the fingers, but through a patient journey of understanding and acceptance. When you allow yourself to suffer, you open your heart to learning. Yes, sadness is painful, but it is also wise. It teaches you to be grateful for the little things, to appreciate the lightness of moments of joy, and to understand that without pain, you could never truly recognize the essence of happiness. It is in the space between pain and joy that you grow. Suffering prepares you for emotional rebirth, like a butterfly that must first pass through the tight cocoon before achieving the freedom of flight. But perhaps you ask yourself, why must it be this way? Why can't we just be happy without so much suffering? The answer lies in the transformation that occurs within you. You are no longer the same after experiencing this pain. You learn, you grow, and although it takes time, joy will finally come, stronger and purer. It is not a superficial joy, but a joy that has been earned, a joy that comes with the wisdom of someone who has known darkness and therefore can now appreciate the light with a deeper gaze. And here is the secret: pain, when lived with courage, transforms into wisdom. Suffering does not define you, but it can shape you. It prepares you for something greater, something more true. This is how healing happens. Not magically or quickly, but steadily and patiently, like a flower slowly blooming after a long night of storm. In the end, you will be stronger, more aware of who you are, and within you, a new peace will reside. And when the new dawn arrives, you'll see that even after the longest night, the joy of living will be purer, deeper, and more fulfilling. At some point in your life, you may have found yourself surrounded by darkness, as if the weight of the world had settled upon your shoulders, suffocating your strength and crushing your soul. The night seems endless, and you find yourself struggling to find a way, but everything around you seems to be collapsing, as if the light had faded forever. It's easy to feel lost, as if every step leads toward an empty void, where promises of happiness, peace, or fulfillment seem as distant as the stars in the sky. And it's right at that point, when the pain becomes almost unbearable, that you are invited to learn the most powerful lesson of life: hope. I know that in these moments, it's easy to succumb to despair, to feel that the suffering will last forever, that there's no way out. The ego, with its relentless voice, tries to convince you that darkness is the only place you know, and that happiness is a far-off dream, a story that will never come true. You drift, too weak to believe that something better is coming. But look inside yourself and search carefully for the flicker of light that still shines, even if faintly, even if almost invisible. That light is hope. Hope is not something that comes from the outside. It lives within you, even in the toughest moments. It is the seed that, though hidden in the dark soil, holds within it the promise that spring will come, that tomorrow will bring the renewal you so desperately need. It is not an empty promise. It is not a superficial comfort. Hope is a real force, growing slowly, silently, but powerfully. It is always present, even when you can't see it. When you are at rock bottom, too weak to look up, it is hope that gives you a reason to keep going even if it's one small step at a time. The importance of hope lies not only in its presence but in the fact that it never abandons those who carry it within. Sometimes you find yourself so overwhelmed by pain that the mere thought of a new day feels almost unbearable. But the truth is that hope doesn't depend on your ability to see the future clearly, but on your willingness to believe that, despite the darkness, tomorrow will be different. Because the joy that comes with the morning, with the first ray of sunlight, is not just the end of a night. It symbolizes renewal, the opportunity to start again, to free yourself from the weight of yesterday and take a step toward the future, with renewed courage and a lighter heart. Remember, when the night feels darkest, it is precisely when the light is closest. Hope is the promise that even when winter seems endless, spring will come. With each dawn, you are reminded that pain is temporary, that sadness, no matter how deep, has an end. Hope does not erase the pain, but it gives you the strength to endure it, to accept it as part of the process that will lead you to a new beginning. Because life is not made up of static moments but of cycles. And the night, however long, is just a temporary phase. The morning always comes, bringing with it the light, the warm promise of a new day. And, most importantly, hope is the light that shines within you, guiding you on the path of renewal. Even when you can't see it, it is there, guiding you, strengthening you. It is not a light that fades easily because hope grows stronger in adversity. It grows when you feed it with the faith that, no matter how difficult your path is, transformation will come. The new day will arrive, and with it, a new chance, a new beginning, a new opportunity to be who you've always dreamed of becoming. No matter how much the night challenges you, no matter how the fatigue makes you want to give up, remember that hope never abandons you. It is always there, waiting to be recognized. And when you do, you will see that even in the hardest situations, the light of the new day has arrived. It didn't come from the outside, but from within you, from your ability to believe that, no matter how dark the path is, hope will always have the power to guide you back to the light. You wake up to the soft touch of sunlight streaming into your room, and for a moment you hesitate, still clinging to the comfort of the darkness that the night brought. The weight of pain, of wrong choices, of failures, feels like a shadow that refuses to fade. But there, between the silence of the night and the freshness of the morning, something begins to change. The new day is not just a continuation of yesterday, it's a blank canvas. A chance to begin again, an opportunity to look at what has passed and, with a renewed heart, try once more. Have you ever felt exhausted? Have you ever felt like the weight of the world was yours and yours alone, as if every step was harder than the one before? I know how that feels. Suffering has the ability to consume us, to make us forget that, despite everything, we are still meant to grow. The beauty of a new beginning isn't just that you can try again, but what it represents. It's not simply a starting over. It's a chance for transition, an opportunity to transform everything you've learned in the past into wisdom for the future. When you open your eyes to the new day, you realize that the pain you felt yesterday does not define who you are. It's part of your journey, but not the whole journey. The beauty of a new beginning is that, even after all the storms, life gives you a new chance to see the world with fresh eyes. And these eyes, weighted with past experiences, now have clearer vision. They know now that pain, no matter how deep, is temporary. It may be a harsh teacher, but it always teaches us something of value. And the new day, with its soft light, comes as a reminder that darkness does not last forever. Have you noticed how the dawn is filled with possibilities? The first ray of light that touches your skin brings with it the promise that, no matter what has happened, you have the chance to rebuild. And in the rebuilding there is something beautiful. Because you are not simply trying to patch up what was broken. You are creating something new. Something stronger. Something wiser. Every morning offers this chance. To look at what you've left behind, to recognize the lessons the hard moments have taught you, and to make the decision to move forward with the courage of someone who knows that, even in chaos, there is order waiting to be discovered. You are, now, a stronger version of yourself. And what seemed impossible yesterday is now a new possibility. The beauty of a new beginning is in your ability to learn from the mistake and transform it into a cornerstone for what is to come. Don't be fooled, the path won't be easy. There will be challenges, new stones in the way. But now you know you are capable of facing them. You carry the wisdom of what you've already lived, and with it comes the strength to continue. So, every morning is an invitation to move forward. Even if the journey feels uncertain, the beauty of a new beginning is that you are no longer where you were. You are in motion. And that, in itself, is something grand. A new beginning does not require perfection, but willingness. The willingness to continue with tired feet. The willingness to rise again with a wounded soul. The willingness to believe again with a broken heart, in the power of tomorrow. And so, as you look toward the horizon, you realize that the beauty of a new beginning is not in erasing the past, but in integrating each experience into what you can still become. The past does not define your future, but it certainly shapes who you are now, stronger, more prepared, more capable. And with every new dawn, you hold in your hands the chance to rewrite your story, to make a difference, to be more than you were yesterday. Because in every morning, there is a silent invitation: begin again. And in doing so, you discover that, in the end, the true beauty of life is not in perfection, but in the ability to always rise up and move forward, stronger and wiser with each step. There are moments when, in the midst of suffering, you ask yourself, why is this happening to me? The weight of difficulty seems to crush any trace of hope, and all you want is for the pain to stop. But even when the world seems shrouded in shadows and the days feel longer than they should, there is a truth you cannot yet fully see. Adversity, despite its weight, has a deep purpose in your life. It is the forge where your soul is shaped, where you learn the true nature of strength and resilience. And paradoxically, it is pain that, in the end, prepares the ground for the joy that will come, making it deeper, more intense, and more rewarding than you could ever have imagined. Now, imagine yourself on a difficult journey, where each step feels like an enormous effort. The winds are strong, the terrain is rough, and you find yourself lost, tired, perhaps even afraid. But over time, you begin to understand that each obstacle, each pain you feel, is doing something to you. It is teaching you to persevere. And even though you may not realize it, you begin to notice that you are growing stronger. The weight of difficulties is shaping your spirit, making you more capable of handling adversity. And more importantly, it makes you understand what truly matters. When you finally overcome the challenge, when you win the internal battle, something changes. You feel different. Relief comes, and with it, a sense of accomplishment that cannot be compared to anything else. The pain you felt, the suffering that seemed unbearable, is now the foundation upon which your joy can grow. Because the joy you feel after overcoming a battle is different. It's not a superficial joy, born from something simple or immediate. No, this joy is more complex, richer. It has layers. It is dense and real because it was earned with sweat, tears, and often with the feeling of being on the edge of giving up. And in the end, when you realize that you've made it through all of that and you're still standing, this joy is not just the feeling of having overcome something. It is the celebration of your own growth, of your own rebirth. You then realize that true joy doesn't come from easy moments or effortless accomplishments. True joy is a joy built in the heart of adversity, forged in the furnaces of suffering. It is a reward earned by those who, when the world seemed bleak, chose to persist, not because it was easy, but because there was something deeper that kept them moving. Something that said, there is more than this. There is a victory waiting. And when you finally reach the top of the mountain, when you feel the gentle breeze of victory, you understand. The view from the top would never have the same impact if you hadn't endured the hard journey to get there. Every difficult step, every stone in the path, now seems to be part of the grandeur of the journey. The pain, which once seemed like an implacable enemy, is now recognized for its role in building your personal power. You didn't just survive. You flourished. So, while you're in the middle of the storm, try to remember, adversity is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is the school where you learn to distinguish true joy, the kind that cannot be taken from you, that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on the strength you develop by overcoming challenges. Because when the storm passes and the sun begins to shine again, the joy you will experience will be stronger, sweeter, more appreciated. It will reflect what you've faced, what you've endured, and how, on the other side, you've become a richer version of yourself. And remember, every moment of difficulty is an opportunity to build a deeper joy. A joy that, when earned, becomes something permanent inside you, something that nothing and no one can take away. Adversity not only challenges you, but it prepares you to embrace a joy that is entirely yours, and it will never be as sweet as it is after all that you've conquered. In moments of pain, when everything seems to be crumbling around you, there is a silent strength that pulses within you, often imperceptible but always present. Resilience. It is like an invisible thread that, even in the face of the fiercest storm, keeps you standing, preventing you from falling into the abyss of despair. With every tear that falls, with every dark thought, you wonder if you'll be able to keep going. But then, something inside you, even if timid, tells you not to give up, not to let the weight of the night defeat you. And that voice, however soft, is the essence of resilience. Resilience is not about never falling. It's not about being invincible or free from suffering. In fact, resilience is about allowing yourself to fall but then getting up, stronger, wiser, and more aware of your own strength. And this strength doesn't come from an external source, but from something deeper, more internal. It is trust, the faith that no matter how long and difficult the night, it will always be followed by the dawn. The faith that even when the days seem endless and pain appears to be the only reality, there is an invisible promise that something better is ahead, waiting for the right moment to emerge. You feel this, don't you? Even on the darkest nights, when the thoughts are heavy and emotions seem to suffocate your soul, you carry a small flame of hope, like a fragile but persistent light that refuses to go out. This flame is faith, faith in something greater than the pain of the moment, faith in the certainty that life has its cycles, and that each cycle, no matter how painful, will eventually renew itself. It is not just an abstract belief. It is a force that works silently but powerfully, guiding every step, sustaining every breath until finally the dawn arrives. Faith is the fuel of your resilience. Without it, it would be hard to endure the endless nights of suffering. Without it, pain would seem unbearable, insurmountable. But with faith, you can make it through the darkest hours, knowing that dawn is coming. No matter how tired or overwhelmed you feel, faith reminds you that this phase, like all others, will also pass. It reminds you that after the rain, the sun always shines again. And it is in that shine that you will find relief, renewal, and joy that seems so distant. And no matter how endless the darkness seems, resilience teaches you something important. Pain is not the end. It is a passing phase, a lesson you are learning so that you can leave the suffering behind and make room for healing. When you allow yourself to be resilient, you begin to realize that it is not the absence of pain that brings healing, but your ability to cope with it. Each time you rise, stronger and more confident, you move closer to a more mature version of yourself. You transform, and pain, while still important, no longer has the same control over your life. It becomes part of your growth, not a constant burden. Resilience also teaches you to embrace challenges with courage. It is not about ignoring the pain or acting as if nothing is happening. It is about acknowledging the pain, feeling every emotion but not letting it define who you are. You are more than the pain you feel. And faith, when nurtured, helps you remember that. It reminds you that there is more to the world than suffering and difficulties. It reminds you that, no matter how hard the moment is, there is a life beyond it, a life that will be richer and more meaningful because of the journey you've gone through. You realize that faith is not an empty promise. It doesn't say that pain will disappear instantly, but it promises that, with time, you will find peace. Faith gives you the certainty that, after the darkest night, you will see the light of the morning. And when the sun rises, it will be brighter, warmer, and full of possibilities. Not because the pain has been erased, but because you had the courage to live with it, to face it, and in doing so, to grow. Every tear shed, every challenge overcome, every day you survived has strengthened you for what is to come. Therefore, as you go through your night of suffering, remember that it is not eternal. Resilience allows you to endure, and faith keeps you moving. And it is through this combination that you will not only survive but thrive. Because, in the end, the joy you will find will be deeper, more meaningful, as it will be the reward for having believed. And, when the dawn finally arrives, you will know that the darkness of the night was essential for you to experience the greatness of the light. Believe this: the dawn always comes, and you, stronger, more complete, will be able to greet it with a heart full of gratitude. And so, we come to the end of another moment of reflection. I want to sincerely thank you for taking the time to watch and connect with these words. Remember that, no matter how challenging the path may be, resilience and faith will always guide us. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and share it with those who may also benefit from this reflection. Your comments are always welcome, and I would love to hear how these words have resonated in your life. Until the next video, and may the light of the new day always bring renewal to your journey.